Hey guys, this is Bill Hammonds, and I told you that I would post up some video on how we go about starting this thing up when it's cold. It's balmy 32 degrees here in Auburn, Indiana this afternoon, and I've got the motors about 44 degrees. So we're going to go through starting it, but I want to point out a couple of things to you real quick. You get down here and you look on this, and down in this corner, this is where I have my primer pump, and that is our Ron's primer unit. And I have a fitting into the fuel cell here on the back side that actually is where I pick up my fuel. So I pick it up out of the same vessel as the fuel for the main well. I have number 12 line on the from the pump to the tank, and we can go from there. My fuel level is about 1.25 inches down, plenty of fuel, but you will notice that my pump is a little bit higher than my tank. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this thing around to start it, and I'll run through that here real quick. Right now, everything is as it needs to be to start. We're in park, car's ready to go. And what I'm going to do is, if you may be able to hear in the background, the pump run on the primer. And I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to hold it. I'm going to open the fuel, and then I'm going to hit it. I'm going to roll the motor over. Oh, it's a little chilly today. And you could hear when I brought it up and got it going, it sneezed a little bit. It's awfully cold and I've got really good air. But it kicked off and it ran. You could hear when the pump took over from the primer, because I was holding the primer button down. And once it took over, I let off the primer and it was sitting there and it was running. Now I'm going to start it up and let it warm up here. I'm not going to have it just sit and run for you for the moment, but I'll warm it up and then we'll get back with how we start it when it's warmed up. Go ahead. All right, you ready? All right, fellas, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this. It's hot. It's about 180 degrees. It's a little warmer than I would normally have it when I would pull in staging lines. So it's a little harder to start when it gets hot, believe it or not. And I'm going to go ahead and start rolling the motor over. Open the throttle a little bit. And basically that's what it is. I use that the primer just a little bit like an accelerator pump, just to get a little fuel in it and start it, and it'll take right off. It'll idle like that. Again, today it's cold and I've got some really good air, so it's idling faster than I usually idle it. But hey, it started at 44 degrees. Sneezed out one little bit that first time, and you know that I'm really satisfied that's what it did. But it started up and it took. So it's not a big deal to start these things when it's cold. You just have to think about it like a carburetor on that side, is if you use the primer like an accelerator pump so that you get some fuel in it so that it can get started and the pump can take over and run. All right, guys, hope this helps you out. Thanks.